Suffix, please. Good. Bam. And because this thing used to have trigger socketed spell when you use a skill, if I get a veiled mod that's a suffix this time, it allows me to unveil it a second time, right? Because the veiled modifiers that are available on a weapon are on a per item basis. So because this originally dropped with a pick 3 that included trigger socket, right? Now that I have this again, it'll again be a pick 3 that has trigger socket on it. So in SSF, if you're trying to do this, you're trying to get trigger as soon as possible. This is a way that you can like almost deterministically farm it out, right? Like you got to find it one time, but as soon as you do, you can just like reveil the weapon over and over, and you'll find trigger. So I need it 3 times. I only hit it 1 time here. I could have finished it, but I got unlucky. I'm gonna take this, put it back over here in case I get Ashling again. And if I do, I can just unveil trigger the 3rd time, which will give me the craft, and I can put it on my weapons, right? If you found an item on the ground, if an item dropped with a pick 3 that included trigger, you can remove crafted mods. You can scour the item even. And if you reveil it, if it hits a suffix, that pick 3 will include a trigger socket spell when you use a skill. Now, why that matters for high-end crafting, this is pretty good information for SSF, right? But for high-end crafting, this could potentially matter as well. All right, white screen warning. Bam. What you could do, if you wanted to craft a hat, hats look like this, by the way. If you wanted to craft a hat, and you wanted to have 2 veiled modifiers on it, well, one way that you could do that is you could multi-mod, you could add the 2 modifiers on. Hey, who's this? Tanky, what's going on? Welcome, welcome. And welcome everyone coming on over from Tanky's stream there. We're talking about veiled modifiers for just a moment here. So if you have a hat, and you want 2 veiled modifiers on it, you could multi-mod it, and then craft the 2 veiled modifiers on it. But then you're stuck with multi-mod, right? So you could annul the multi-mod, but then you're gambling, right? So, other possibility. From the very beginning, you could grab a helmet, you could bring it to Ashling in research, you could double veil it, and she'll show you what the 3 pick 1 is, the prefixes or the suffixes, whatever it is you hit, right? So you could find out for this particular item right here, what could I veil onto it, right? So one of the ways that people have used this information in the past is they buy a bunch of helmets. They buy this one here, and then they buy another one, and then they buy another one, and then they buy another one, and they check which veiled modifiers are available on it. I don't think this is the best way of doing it anymore, but I want you to know that this exists. You could check each helmet, and you could check which veiled modifiers exist on it. If you're trying to make like perfect mirror to your gear, this might be something that you're interested in. So you could check which veiled modifiers are available. Let's say this one here has the veiled prefix and the veiled suffix that you wanted. Sweet. So you scour it. And then you do your crafting, and you get the perfect item that you wanted that has exactly 2 prefixes and exactly 2 suffixes, right? And you're like, yes, my item's almost done. And then you bring it to Ashling in research until she successfully adds 2 veiled modifiers, which I didn't get because I was unlucky 5 minutes ago, but you're luckier than I am. So then when she adds the 2 veiled modifiers, the 1 prefix and the 1 suffix, the 3 pick 1 that you checked initially when you picked this helmet, as opposed to these other 3, the 3 pick 1 for the prefix and the suffix will be the same ones that you already saw. So it's not gambling, it's just doing your work ahead of time. I mentioned a second ago that I thought it was a good idea to exalt that item What Cam pointed out in chat is that I'm tired. Cam pointed out that you could obviously just like scour Alkit or chaos spam it or use an essence until your item has 3 prefixes and 2 suffixes, which is probably a better use, or probably a better way to go about it than using a exalt.